December 7th, 1941, 6 a.m.
For this day, the determination of the naval officers and men who have silently trained and honed themselves becomes a fireball and explodes. With courage in their hearts, they head towards Hawaii.
6 fleet carriers, Akagi, Kaga, Soru, Hiru, Shokaku, and Zuikaku form the core of the 1st Air Fleet. They are supported by the fast battleships Haie and Kirishima, the heavy cruisers Tone and Chikuma, a light cruiser, a screen of destroyers, and a separate submarine force spread ahead of the main body. On the carrier decks sits the real striking arm, 353 carrier-based aircraft organized into 2 attack waves. Mitsubishi A, 6 M0 fighters, Aichi D, 3A, Val dive bombers, and Nakajima B-5N Kate torpedo and level bombers are readied in the pre-dawn darkness.
The time has come, and the air raid units depart from the designated point, one aircraft after another, with a united spirit. Fueled by the vow of urgent retaliation, they focus their gaze on the distant enemy lines.
Holding their resolve, they form up in the sky, heading towards Pearl Harbor.
As the first wave drops out of the clouds over Pearl Harbor around 7:55 a.m., torpedo bombers sweep low over the water toward Battleship Row. Within minutes, USS Arizona is struck by an armor-piercing bomb that detonates her forward magazine, destroying the ship and most of her crew. USS Oklahoma takes multiple torpedo hits, rolls over, and capsizes at her moorings. USS West Virginia is torn open by torpedoes and bombs, sinking in the shallow harbor alongside the quay. USS California is hit and badly flooded, settling slowly into the mud. USS Nevada is torpedoed and bombed as she attempts to get underway and is ultimately beached to keep her from sinking in the channel. Across the harbor, the former battleship USS Utah, now a target ship, is struck by torpedoes and capsizes, never to return to service. At the same time, dive bombers and fighters fan out toward the island's airfields. Bombs and strafing runs tear through Hickam Field, Wheeler Field, Ford Island Naval Air Station, Kaneohe Naval Air Station, and other outlying strips. Hangars are shattered, fuel and maintenance areas are set ablaze, and row after row of tightly parked American aircraft are destroyed or disabled where they sit. By the time the first wave turns back toward its carriers, much of the United States battleship line lies sunk or crippled in the harbor, and the majority of Army and Navy aircraft have been wrecked on the ground. In less than 2 hours, 2,403 Americans are killed. Sailors, soldiers, Marines, and civilians. 1,178 are wounded. Half of the dead are on USS Arizona when the magazine exploded. On USS Oklahoma, 429 sailors are lost. On the USS Utah, 58 men are killed. Others die at their guns, on airfields, and in hangars around Oʻahu. Among them are senior officers who remain at their posts. Rear Admiral Isaac C. Kidd, Captain Franklin Van Valkenburg, Captain Mervyn S. Binion. Japan loses 129 men, 29 aircraft, and all 5 submarines sent into the harbor.
The soldiers equally renowned. The air base is unfrozen below. One group strikes the enemy air power at the airfield. Another group penetrates deep into Pearl Harbor. Our aircraft types succeed splendidly. The naval forces of Iga are reversed in an instant.
Thus, the Imperial Japanese Navy on that 8th day has daringly executed a blockade against the United States fleet and air forces in the Hawaii area.
When viewing the results of the great battle at Pearl Harbor through ordinary photographs, on this day, the enemy's main fleet was gathered in the harbor, forming 2 orderly lines. Our air raid units, undeterred by the fierce enemy defensive fire, bravely charged into the airspace and delivered precise hits, destroying almost all of them.
Today, Pearl Harbor is a place of reflection. The white span of the USS Arizona Memorial rests quietly over the sunken battleship. Oil still rises slowly to the surface, a silent reminder of the men who never came home. Nearby, the memorials to Oklahoma, Utah, and the other ships and airfields tell the story of that morning, in names etched in stone, and in the echo of families who still remember. Here at Wingspan Adventures in Flight, our mission is to help keep those stories alive. We document and preserve aviation history, not just with dates and statistics, but by following the aircraft that still fly restored museum pieces from this era and beyond. If this kind of storytelling matters to you, honoring the past, seeing these machines in the air, and understanding the people behind them, I invite you to subscribe and join this community. Your support helps us continue to travel, to film, and to share these living pieces of history before they fall silent for good. In the next Archival History episode, we'll cover Jimmy Doolittle and the daring raid on Japan that signaled to the world that the United States would not be intimidated and would not surrender. We'll explore the aftermath of that mission and the aircraft that carried the war across the Pacific, putting relentless pressure on the Japanese Navy. This story doesn't end, it continues in the skies.